Now a man who needs no introduction, but wanted an introduction anyway. I give you the towering, barrel-chested advice giver, the biggest dick I know on the other side of the Atlantic, and abject appreciator of vampires, the one and only Rex Reginae.
Hello, my darlings. This is Rex Reginae, but you can call me Sir. And how about that for an introduction? We will have another introduction by that young lady on our next episode as well. She actually just came up with that off the cuff, as they say. Welcome to our, sixth show, seventh show. I don't even keep track of these things. Thank you for spending a little time with me this evening, or maybe it's daytime. I don't know. Depends on where you are. Tonight's show is going to be a little bit more fun. For one, we will be having a poem written by and narrated by that lovely little lady who did that introduction on the show. You hear my tablet going off here. What we're going to do tonight, I might back up a little bit and remind you that you're going to want to check out my blog, Sir Approves, on Tumblr. It is one word, and as you well know, there are no fucking hyphens. Instagram, of course, sirapproves.official. Blah, 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 self-promotion, self-promotion, self-promotion. Let's dig right in. Tonight's episode is going to be a little light-hearted. We are going to go right into my asks and dig into them one by one. Are you ready? Did you grab your drink? All right, let's dive in. Now, let's see. Here's the first one, which will answer our Hump Day episode was an answer to this question. Beg your pardon. Let's run right through. Are you ready, ladies? Gentlemen, let's go. Daddy, why are you so delicious? I just want to run my hands all over that chest while you take me senseless. Gosh, you make my pussy so wet. I adore you. Well, thank you very much for that. I appreciate all of those compliments. Makes it worth my while, to know that I'm. Of course, it does make it worth my while when I find out that I've actually helped somebody as well. But those little compliments are rather nice. So thank you very much for that, sweetheart. Let's see here. Hello, sir. Any advice for subs with learning difficulties or anxiety? I have an information processing difficulty, which often means I'm slow to respond to questions, and it takes me a while to process language, like commands, for instance. Being emotionally and physically overwhelmed makes it worse. How can I make sure a dom won't misinterpret this as reluctance or brattiness, or break the flow of a scene? Well, that is quite a question, and I think a rather, not rough isn't the word, but a complicated question to really dig into in this show. So I think that we will address that one by itself in a longer version of an answer. But I will give you a brief answer. For one, most of our emotional difficulties, well, yes, there are cases, and please, people, don't get all fucking offended. It's nonsense. While there are some people that really do have deep emotional distresses that really can only be not corrected but managed with medication and therapy, most of our emotional pains are created by ourselves. So I want you to, for one, take it very easy on yourself, and with a dominant, explain this to him. There should always be an open line of communication, as I've said 800 times. Always an open line of communication. So explain, this is what I struggle with. I need you to work with me through it. And I need you to understand that it's not necessarily because I'm misbehaving or trying to be bratty. It's just that I need a little more time than maybe some other people do. But that's a very good question, and we will attack that in more detail. Hello, sir. Just a very lovely unowned sub here who wanted to let you know that your blog is a treasure trove for me. So many things to put on my list for future reference. Also, after listening to your YouTube sessions, I can absolutely say your voice flips all of my submissive switches and gives me delicious shivers. I can only hope to find a dom as classy and as self-assured as you one day, sir. Heart emoji. That is very nice. Thank you very much for that. Well, now it's going to sound like I've just put all these things together to float my ego, but that's not the case at all. Thank you very much for that compliment. They do mean a lot to me. You hear that blip blip? That's my tablet. Let's see what we have here. We have a little naughty submission. We have a little, another naughty submission. We have a few of those. Hi, sir. I love your blog. Very real proof that there are real doms out there that truly care for their subs. Thank you for all of your posts. Well, thank you very much for the compliment. Again, much, much appreciated. Sir, tell me what you would do to me sexually. Well, well, it could be any number of things depending on how we got along, what your interests were, our mutual attraction, obviously, our personalities. What I would do to you sexually, in a nutshell, is that I would make your brain explode. How's that for a short answer? I would most likely leave you a quivering mess of lust, shaking on the floor, incredibly satisfied and half dead. Thank you for the question. We have another submission. What do you think of my sexy undies? Well, I will say they are indeed very sexy. Of course, you can't see that on there. Oh, and I would like to mention, I've seen lots of, not lots, there's only been 3 or 4 thumbs down on my videos. If you are tuning into the show and you're expecting to see dancing girls, it's not something you're going to see. This is a fun place and a safe place where we think and we use our minds. And if that's not for you, that's perfectly fine. But let's not thumbs down unnecessarily. If you do have a thumbs down to my advice, by all means, please put something in the comments. You know, if you think I'm wrong about something, by all means, let's have a conversation, because there will be times when I'm wrong. I mean, it has happened before. I think it was 1987. So, made you laugh. So if you do have an issue, feel free to put right down in the comments, great show, but I disagree with this and this, and give me some reasons and a good, healthy, public display back and forth, because again, the heart of this show is to help people. And if you have another opinion on something, by all means, you should share it. It's a safe place, and it's a wonderful place, and an exchange of ideas is always welcome. So let's skip the thumbs down and use our minds a little bit. We have another submission. Miss me? ? Is this next question? I might, if I knew who you were. But I don't, so I can't say for sure. Sir, I don't know how often you hear this, but I just wanted to let you know that I really respect you and everything you do for this community in general as well. You seem so genuinely lovey, heart XX. Thank you very much, Anonymous. I do try to keep things lighthearted and fun and to help people, as you well know, to the best of my ability. Sometimes it does take quite a bit out of me to do so, but it's for the greater good. And, what are we doing here if it is not to work for the greater good? Another submission. Good evening, sir. I hope you've had a good day. I wanted to ask what your view on short girls is. I know some people find it adorable, but could there be a limit? I'm 5'1", and some people are put off by it, so I was just curious about your opinion. Anonymous. Well, that is an interesting question, and I certainly don't mean to belittle it, but I personally have no issue with short girls or tall girls or thick girls or thin girls or muscular girls or chubby girls. I think every woman is, well, not every woman, but most women are quite lovely at being their own unique selves. There are women I have been just as attracted to women that doctors would consider obese as I have to women that doctors might say are underfed. So it's about, for me, it's about the mind. It's about the attitude. Sexiness is found behind the eyes. Can you even believe that my camera cut off in the middle of that powerful statement? Ridiculous. I should put like a technical difficulties break or something. What I was saying 13 seconds ago was that beauty is found behind the eyes, not in front of them. Something to remember, darling. Are you too short? No. You're not too tall, you're not too fat. There is always someone who's waiting for you. Oh, this is a very good one. And I think also we could do a show on this. I think I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to look at this submission. Yes, it's very nice. And we will close with this. Well, actually, we do have that poem coming up. You're going to want to stay tuned for that, I'm sure. Hello, sir. Happy belated New Year. I've followed your blog for a while and absolutely love everything about it. You're always so nice when people send asks, and the things you post are amazing. That's Sir Approves on Tumblr. There are no hyphens. There are no fucking hyphens in Sir Approves on Tumblr. My favorite was from a long time ago, but it was a post from Disney's Tarzan, and you were talking about not taking a dom who extends his hand out to you for granted. Anyways, kind of random, but I was just wondering, are you in a relationship with a submissives at the moment? Ooh, well, that is a complicated question. And one, again, that I feel might even deserve its own show. Am I currently with a submissive or submissives at the moment? Yes, thousands of them. Currently hundreds on YouTube and a couple thousand on my blog, and of course all across the world. It depends on your version of a submissive. I've answered this question a number of times, and I'm going to try to give it a short answer. And the answer is, am I in a relationship? Yes, lots of them. Only a few of them over the course of my years have been really dynamic and wonderful, and those are the people that I do keep, and I still have them as friends, even if we've moved on from romantic involvement. Even though I very much discourage people being friends with their exes out there in the world, I always like to offer my opinion. If a woman that I've talked to or have trained, 5 years ago would send me a message and say, hey, look, this is what's going on in my relationship, I would be more than happy to lend my assistance, not with a jealous edge or with any sort of malice, but because, again, as I've said, it's our job to make people's lives better. And when you are an ex and you are a dick, you are a loathsome person. So I would hate to be a loathsome person. The other thing I want to touch on here before we get to this incredible poem, and isn't her voice lovely? Isn't that just the most lovely little voice? What was it? Oh yes, the Tarzan post. I remember that I posted it was 3 frames, I think, from the Disney film Tarzan, the animated feature, and it was him saying, basically, yes, hold on to me, you're going to be fine. Her saying, no, I'm not, I'm fine by myself, I don't need you. And then, realizing that when she was on the jungle floor, that she was very susceptible to so many things, and then jumping back into his arms. And it, to me, related very much to the proper dominant submissive lifestyle, wherein, you have all these ideas fed to you by the media, by the world around you of this strong, independent woman. And of course, you should be. You should be where you need to be. But there is nothing wrong with saying, I need some protection in this area. I need some help in this area. And that's where your partner, your dominant, is going to come in and help you to rebuild your life or to face a challenge. The strong, independent woman can be a very exhausting role. And I'm not saying that you can't do it. I'm saying that it's not always completely necessary. So when you do have someone who is loving you and cherishing you and looking after you, let them do their job. It doesn't make you seem weak, and it gives them a sense of purpose, and your bond will be ever tighter for the opportunity. I know myself that I like to protect my girls, and I don't, how do I put this? It's not that I'm mad, it's that if I miss an opportunity to protect, or if I'm blocked by that, if let's say, let's come up with a hypothetical. I'm with someone and all of a sudden there's an issue with an ex. I would be more than happy to address the issue. And I'm not talking about beating the fucker up, which I will do without much hesitation. As we all know, I'm barrel-chested and towering. Yes, let's not forget towering. But I'm more than happy to field that situation. If there's an issue with a friend, I'm more than happy to get involved to find a solution to the problem so that my baby girl has less stress in her life. And when I'm not afforded that opportunity, that irritates me, because that's what gives me purpose. And when you love someone, you need to have purpose in that relationship. And when that person hides from you, it can be very trying and very devastating. When someone has a need, a little girl has a need, and she doesn't tell you about it because she's trying to be so tough, it drives a wedge between the two of you. So as long as you're with someone who's dominant and loving and wonderful, by all means, give them every opportunity to do their job, and you will thank me for that bit of advice. Well, that's all I have for now. I am going to close this program with a wonderful poem, not as funny as the first, but it is quite delicious. I will turn it over to my UK darling for her poem that she wrote herself and is going to narrate with her beautiful voice. That's all for me, my loves. Until next time, all of my best and all of my love. Sir.
Naked truth. To me, being naked does not mean how much of my bare body is pressed to yours. I feel no shame or vulnerability in showing you silvery stretch marks, or sweet love handles, or hidden, stiff, dark hair. That kind of naked is natural and blasé. These bone cathedrals of ours are all built with the same stone. No, to me, truly naked is when I show you these words. Touch my fluttering pulse in ink caressed into paper. When I read my poems, your body pressed to my back, your lips on my humming throat, I am showing you inside the precious center of myself. I will peel open my chest, layer by layer, so you can see the coiled fire and dark oceans, the smelted bullets and dried wildflowers, a stained glass window to my inner world. Please, Bruise my flesh with your loving teeth. Press on my throat until blood leaps. But be gentle, be oh so gentle with this most truthful part of me.